Hello, my soul friends. It's Victoria, the Soul Nurturer, here to offer you some nurturing for your soul, support for your journey, and perhaps some insights for your transformational experience. This is actually a special video that it's been on my heart to do because we have just had such a, what was our most popular used word this year, unprecedented, right? Unprecedented year. Well, my word that I used a million times this year with each and every video, with each and every client, was opportunity and potent transformation. And it was, and it still is. We're not done yet, but we are in the last month of 2020. This is a month that we typically begin to start visioning for the next year, although I think many of us started maybe in June of this year, like, when is 2021 going to be here? But this is really such a significant time, and as many of you know, as I shared in other videos, this was a year that I went deep diving into my own subconscious material and shadowy material and places I hadn't looked or had put off doing something about, and surfaced with a lot of new insights and awareness. And one of the things was I picked up something that I've been interested in since I was in junior high or even younger, because I remember having a memory, one of my good memories with my mom, of every morning reading our horoscopes together. And so I was fascinated by astrology when I was in junior high, and it helped me understand myself and my family. But it was so many layers and so many depths. And there was also, to be quite honest, being on a very progressive Christian path. I can't say I'm a traditional Christian. I'm an off-roader on many different paths, but through dream work was called back to a Christian path, even though I do believe that faith is as unique as all of us are, and that religion, this is my version of what I think religion is, just as there are many different cultures and many different languages, our faith, our religion is the language we speak to speak and commune with God, Creator, however you connect. That's how I see that. But you know, we're all very different. So, but this was the year I said, I'm not going to hide in the shadows, something that I find to be a powerful gift from Creator. I often say, do you think that Creator would send us here without any information or guidance? Or, you know, this is like the little soul handbook for us individually and collectively. So this year, more than any year, if I really was convinced there's something going on here. And if you believe in creation and that God has his handprint on everything, that this year of astrology showed us that there was a divine plan unfolding, even though it was hard as heck, right? 2020 was, you know, no walk in the park, right? But let's consider, was this designed for us for a purpose? That's what I believe. And so this year, here we are, we get to take a deep breath, but it's, yeah, I'm going to do that right now. Every December is a good time to reflect, review, renew, and recreate a vision or re-envision something for our future, but more than ever this year, more than ever. So I want to talk a little bit about what we did go through with the astrology of 2020. I've had a few people ask me, and why this winter solstice on the 21st is so very significant. Now, winter solstice is a really cool time to reflect and review our years in general, but really potent this year. So 2020, what happened? What was that all about? Well, 2020 brought some two planets that were very much they're heavyweights. When we are impacted or aspected by these planets, something's going to change. We have to do something, right? Pluto is the planet of transformation. I mean, and we're not just talking about change, but we're talking about deep soul get in the nooks and crannies transformation. It's kind of like the wrecking ball, you know, it's going to come in and say, well, whatever's not working has got to go, right? And then Saturn is, I think of it as the taskmaster. It's rule oriented. It's wanting to make sure we learn our lessons, right? And it's harsh. It's kind of a heavy aspect or a planet when we're dealing with Saturn. I should know I have Saturn in my first house, so I'm very familiar with Saturn. So these two have been, you know, an aspecting and relationship all through 2020. Pluto pushing us to look more deeply at what we've been avoiding, the shadowy places in ourselves and in the collective. And then Saturn right alongside of it saying, take responsibility for what's yours to resolve. Take responsibility individually, collectively. We must do better. It's time to do better. And then Jupiter joined the party, and in Capricorn, it was called the COVID cluster, a lot of astrologers called it. And Jupiter expands whatever it's connected to. So then it got more intense, we couldn't look away from all the problems in the world and probably in ourselves. They were more amplified, and it felt really intense and overwhelming because God, creator, the universe, however you believe or connect, was not going to let us off the hook this year. Not at all. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the beautiful aspect that's happening that I believe is a call back to hope for all of us. And that is, maybe you already feel that we're out of that heavy, intense transformational energy right now. Although Pluto's still in Capricorn until 2023, which means we're not done with the transformational work. So keep looking, keep being willing to look within, and then also look at what you can offer collectively to support all of us. And that's what 2021's going to be a lot about too. So where did I go with that? Okay, so the intensity, which, you know, for me, I felt like it was like slugging through mud. And I also used the analogy of like foot on gas, mostly on brake. So we couldn't quite get our groove going in 2020. And mostly we were literally asked to sit at home, or to not sit, but to be more contained with ourselves instead of being around a lot of people. So in the human experience, it might have felt like limitation, which, by the way, Saturn feels like anyway. That's what Saturn brings. Feels like limitation. It feels like Saturn to me is like grandfather, like holding us back, saying, hold on now, you're not ready. You haven't learned the lessons yet. And I'm going to give you another lesson. I'm going to give you another lesson. I'm going to give you another lesson until you learn what you're supposed to learn. Anybody feel that this year? So now on the 17th, Saturn moved into Aquarius. And today, Jupiter moved into Aquarius. I feel it. I felt the shift. I wonder if you did too. Very different energy. Again, Capricorn, work hard, nose to the grindstone, lesson after lesson. Aquarius is more, it's an air sign, and it's more light, and it's more progressive, and it's definitely transformational because it invites us to look for the solutions in an innovative way. Capricorn was looking at our old stuck structures that no longer serve anyone, archaic. And it was time to look at them. Aquarius says, okay, you looked, now what did you learn, and how can you apply something so life-changing and innovative and different? Different is very key for Aquarius. We're going to be invited more than ever to do things differently, individually and collectively. Can't say that enough. So you might be feeling that right now, and I hope you have been looking at the sky when it's clear. Here in Washington State, not every night is a clear night, and I pray that on the 21st of December, winter solstice, I pray that it is a clear sky, because we're going to see Saturn and Jupiter have been moving closer and closer and closer. And on that day, they're going to be 0 degree conjunct, which means they're going to look like one star. They're going to look like some are calling it the Christmas star. A big, bright, beautiful, it's going to look like a star, but the two planets combined in close hug. Well, that was weird. Welcome back. This is going to be, I guess, part 2 of my video on winter solstice and end of year review and renew and re-envisioning. I was midway through and all of a sudden my camera turned off for no reason that I can see. This has been going on all day for me. I was in a Zoom class that I was teaching and everything just went blank. I was kicked out of Zoom, one thing after another. So this might be the moving into Aquarius. Aquarius is kind of quirky energy and surprises, lots of strange surprises and quick changes. So I'm going to say it has to do with that. So let me get back to finding where I was. I was just talking about how on winter solstice that Jupiter and Saturn are going to have this really tight conjunction. Looking from these are two planets we can see with our naked eyes, no telescope needed. Just look up in the southwest and on a clear night, hopefully, and it's just going to appear like just this big bright globe. And so how powerful to see that and notice that. And you know, this hasn't happened, this conjunction hasn't happened for I can't remember how many years. I've heard 800 years, maybe longer, so but a significant long time, and it won't happen again in our lifetime and many other lifetimes. So so look at this here. Through all of this sludge through 2020 and all the challenges, we get this bright shiny star at the end of the year. I mean, for me, that evokes so much hope and also a sense of everything was purposeful and divinely orchestrated, right? So as I've been saying all year for 2020, don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss this opportunity. Do your inner work. Do your soul work. Look within. Take responsibility. Make your shifts. Now, it's not too late. I mean, this is a year that we'll be reviewing for a while, right? But I want to invite you to do something special and sacred on winter solstice. In my research and looking more into winter solstice, I've not, you know, it's not something I do regularly every year as a ceremony. Some people do. I think it's a sacred and beautiful ceremony. This year I am doing a ceremony for some friends because it just feels like that, I was going to say cherry on the top, but it's like the light on the top of all the darkness we went through. And we really want to just lean into it, honor what we've been through, and then connect back to the gifts, the blessings, and what we will be invited to bring in 2021, our unique light and our unique purpose and our activated potential from all we've been through, right? So I want to invite you to create some kind of a ritual. And here's sort of what I'm doing, but create your own. If you can, be outside, really. Just want to get out there, sit on the earth if you can. Here where I live, it's going to be really rainy, and we've had a pretty mild winter, so I'm not concerned about the elements, but it's going to be pretty rainy, and we're going to be sitting on the earth. We're going to do this. One of the things I learned in 2020 was, you know, I did this amazing hike with my husband for 5 days. Oh, that was really intense and challenging and was so symbolic of this year for me, and also the transition places in my own life where I was versus where I am. And that first day of our hike, we went really late, got there very late, 7 o'clock at night. It was already dark and it was pouring rain. And we hiked, but it was harder for me, I think. We hiked for about 6 hours straight up a mountain in the pouring rain. So I can sit for an hour or two out in nature and get rained on and be fine with that. So I learned that in 2020, and again, that hiking trip was very symbolic of face what scares you, say yes to what you think you can't do, show up for it, and keep going and keep growing, okay? And that we can handle so much more than we think we can. And my my camera's about to die out again. I don't know what's going on. This is going to be a 3-part series because I'm not going to review this one or redo this one. So I've got 2 minutes left. So let's see what I can tell you to do. So I want you to think about a something to symbolize what you went through in 2020 and to honor that and to create a little ritual or ceremony for you to review. And then, okay, this must be teaching me something because my camera keeps shutting off and I don't know why. So I'm just going to wrap this up really quickly. It's going to be a 3-part. So maybe you can just do this in little chunks, like 5-10 minutes here and there. So to close, I just want to invite you to create your own ritual to honor what you grew through in 2020 and to do it on the solstice if you can, because it's such an empowered day. In fact, in my research is what I was starting to say, that I found that it's actually the more appropriate day to vision for your next year while we're still sitting in the darkness of winter. You know, we plant our seeds in the dark soil to grow possibilities in the springtime, and it's kind of like that too with visioning and creating your goals and intentions. So create a ritual, sit in the darkness, do a meditation if you can. I plan on doing some kind of a meditation if I can get my camera to work, maybe tomorrow. Revisit, do some journaling, and then light a candle and bring what I call sacred awareness to what you went through. What were the lessons and how can you apply what you learned into 2021 as goals, as actions, resetting of patterns to emerge new possibilities or a new way of being, and definitely a new way of seeing. So that's all I have for you before my camera times out. Once again, I just want to say, honor your journey through 2020. Go through and glean all that you gathered and worked hard to cultivate within you. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you shifted, you changed. And I often say that when you acknowledge what you grew through and the changes you went through and you put some light on it, some awareness, some sacred awareness of what did I learn and what is different, and or what do I want to do differently, which is what Aquarius is inviting us to do. Do it differently, get out of the box, get out of your stuck way of seeing and being, and try some new ways of living and creating patterns that are more supportive to your unique way of being. Okay, it's time to bring our uniqueness, to no longer be afraid of what other people think about us, let go of being the fear of being judged, and just show up as you, bringing your fullness, your full light, and your full possibilities. That's what 2021 is offering. So I invite you to take that time on the solstice and write out your goals and light some candles, and light candles every day as we return to the light, cultivating more light within us and more hope, more possibilities for the collective. Thank you for being with me. I hope that maybe I'll be able to bridge these 3 together, but you may just have to watch them separately. Take a little break in between. Here we go into quirky Aquarius energy, inviting us to move and be a little different and have fun along the way. So I send you so much love and many blessings for this wrapping up of this potent year. I honor the changes that you went through, and I honor the growth and the transformation you experienced. We did it. Okay. Take good care until next time.